Let's go out to the water and I'll show you how I'm working these baits back.
Yeah, it might be decent. Man, I thought you had a massive one. Oh, don't get pregnant. On that goldfish. Yep. No, he's not that big. He's probably like what you guys caught yesterday. 7 or 8. Not even close. There he is. Whoop, good Lord.
What is he doing? What do you mean, what am I doing?
You gotta do whatever he's doing.
He's pretty long. Okay. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Yep. He's definitely close.
Yeah. If not, he's 9 something. Just
yeah.
He's fat too.
I don't know why I'm moving. Yeah. Sometimes goldfish is better. So awesome. Looks like a big old shark. Perfected shark. Yeah, he's got that big head. So I was like 13 something.
Yeah, 13.6, so 10.
10,
5.
barely 10, yeah.
10.5.
Nice.
Yeah, 10.5.
Yeah. All right, got
10
this.
pounds, 5 ounces. Double digit though. See you later, buddy.
All right, ladies and gents, I want to take a quick break from the video to show you what's going on and some of the equipment I'm using out there. I always start with the rod and reel. The rod is a Kuma Salilo. It's a 9'6". It's a light action rod, but it's designed for salmon and steelhead, so it's obviously heavier than the rods we use down here in SoCal for the stock trout. but it's got a very soft tip. It's fairly moderate, but obviously has a lot of backbone because it's designed for a salmon and steelhead, and it can really handle the weight of these 1/8 ounce and up to a 1/4 ounce really super tubes we throw, and can handle these Lahontans and all the force they put on us, while still being fairly a lightweight rod. The reel I have paired with it is a Shimano Vanquish 2500. It's a 5-to-1 retrieve. Excellent reel for working super tubes. I'll come out with a video down the road going over exactly reels and equipment. And if you ever have questions, leave a comment here. If you're heading up there or want to head up there, and I'll give you all the specs on the equipment I use and things that you should buy, or things that are reasonably priced all the way up to stuff like this, which is quite expensive. For line, I have it paired with some Daiwa J-Braid 8X in 10-pound. And then for a leader, I use the Runkle Power Fluoro, but in 10-pound this time. And the leader length, I usually do it out there, the length of the rod. So this is a 9'6" rod, so I usually put my double uni knot up at the tip of the rod, run it down to the butt, cut it, and I usually have about a 9'6" leader. I do that because these Lahontans roll a lot. I feel it gives a little bit of shock absorption as opposed to the braid, which is extremely stiff. Fluorocarbon's stiff, but it's not as stiff as the braid. So I give it a little bit of a longer leader on when I'm out at Pyramid. All right, now let's go to the bench, and I'll show you the baits and how I rig them up. All right, guys, I'm going to show you some of the baits we're using out there and what's been working lately. These are the 4-inch super tubes that Golden State Fishing makes. This one is a real popular one. This is a gold member. It seems that all the baits that we're using, or that they're hitting on real well up there, all have a slight gold color to them. Like this other one here, favorite of mine, gold, pearl, and brown. It's got that same gold on the back and some brown up front, so it has a little bit of a two-tone to it, so sometimes they really like that one. And this is the newest one, GoldFish. So it's got some bright gold, like 24 karat gold on the front, and the old school gold that's on the other super tubes. But these, all 3 of these just seem to be hitting great lately. I'm going to be going up there in a couple weeks, and we'll see if that still holds true. They're preparing to spawn up there, so we'll see if their taste change a little bit. The heads we use on them are these tube jig heads, and typically use 3 different sizes, and I'll show them to you here. You got the 1/8 here. The 3/16, which is a little bit heavier, and then the Big Daddy, the 1/4 inch. Typically, 99% of the time, if you're fishing from shore, you're going to use this 1/8. This 1/8 in these super tubes here, really scaled up, represents fishing like a 32nd or a 16th ounce mini jig back home here, or up in the Sierras. This 3/16 head, I could have used it, and I believe I did. I just can't remember on this trip. I did on the last one. As we were dragging the tubes on the bottom, and I'll explain that in a second, because it's a little bit more weight, but you can still give it decent action. This 1/4 ounce is more for vertical jigging, like when the fish are out deep. If you're out in a boat, float tube, or kayak, and you want to just drop it down and jig it up and down, that's where this 1/4 ounce will come in. I really don't fish the 1/4 ounce from shore hardly ever, unless there's like really severe wind, which does happen up there, but even then, the biggest I'll go is this 3/16. Now, what's happening out there is we're working these tubes on the bottom. So what it is the spot we're at, there's a huge drop off, and I'll show you some footage of that right in front of us. So we're hardly having to wade out. There's some footage of us wading out on one side of a sandbar, but the same principle occurs as there's just a lot more water that came into the lake with all the storms. So that sandbar has a little bit of water on it, but the drop off is right there. And what's happening is we're letting this super tube go all the way down to the bottom, and we're just bouncing it off the bottom like this. And the trout are seeing the disturbance in the sand, and or they are in that bottom column of water because it's a little bit murkier in this area. The Truckee River's right there, so a lot of silt and mud is coming into the water, making the water clarity not as great as the rest of the lake. So it's almost essentially like fishing drop shot, although I tried drop shot and it wasn't working up there. They just wanted these tubes bounced off the bottom. And as we get up to the lip, as I showed you in that clip, that's when they're smacking it. They're waiting till it gets right to the lip of that drop off, and that's when they're attacking it, because they figure as a predatory fish, they're trying to give that fish only a couple exits when they start chasing it. And it can't go into the dirt, so it's got to go either left or right or up. And that's when they're smacking them. So every time we come up to that drop off, that's when we prepare to get hit. So we'll go out to the lake, and I'll show you some of the technique we're actually using out there while we're dragging these super tubes on the bottom.
All right, in this clip here, you can see we're standing right on the edge of the shore, casting out, and we're right in front of the drop-off, as you can see in the earlier clip. And what I'm doing is I'm just letting that jig sink all the way down to the bottom, and then I start my retrieve. And while I'm retrieving, notice my rod tip's down. I can feel the jig bouncing on the bottom. I'm doing very slow reel cranks and just light bounces like I would be working at a normal level of the water column. And then as you can see, I get close to the shelf. I can feel it coming up the shelf, so I lower my rod tip even further and go even slower while working up the shelf, because this is where they've been hitting the jig. So very important to keep that jig on the bottom, because if you're keeping it up higher in the column, we were trying all kinds of different things, they just weren't biting it. They wanted it in the dirt, and right when it hit that shelf and start working it up that shelf, that's when they are attacking it.
Right at the shelf. Yeah, he's okay. Just bounced it right off the bottom. He hit like right at the base of that. Gold, pearl, and brown. You don't want to quit. It's like, man, I was just kicking back in the hot tub. Thought I'd get a little snack. And this happened. Oh, he's pretty. Yeah. Keep his head up. I tried. Here he comes. Well, maybe not. There, he got him. Nice. It's a good size one.
Dude, it looks so nice.
Yeah, that's badass looking.
Heck yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was born in the water here.
Where are your
little
friends?
adipose.
Where are your friends? Help me.
Oh yeah, it's a stud, dude. Yeah, it's a stud.
Yeah, little rod.
Yeah, it's just like holding.
Yeah.
One eternity later.
Just take your time, it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Oh, he's foul hooked maybe.
No, he grabbed up.
Uh,
Is he? Yeah. Yeah, he's just a stud. Man, I thought you had a massive one. Oh, don't get pregnant.
I know it's gonna happen.
Using this net like a goaltender. Oh, look at. He likes Esty.
Who's this?
Must be a lady trout.
Well, if I wrap around to you, maybe
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got it on the cheek, that's why it's so hard to put it.
Wonder.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's surprising, dude. I thought this thing was huge.
All right.
Yeah, it's right in the side of the face.
Yeah, that's why. You pulled him in sideways for a little while.
Cool. Yay. All right. Let's get some more of that.
All right, ladies and gents, there you have it. Like I say, it was a great trip out there, but the fishing was rough. We always have a good time out there, but it took me 3 days, so the last day of our trip, till I finally caught one. I think Esteban got one day, and Andrew got one the day before, and that was about it. And they weren't huge. It wasn't until the very last day when we got down at Popcorn, started dragging our jigs through the dirt, we started hooking up, and I think we got probably 8 to 10. Obviously, they don't make it in the video. But as you saw, Esteban got a nice double digit and lost an even nicer one. So kind of salvaged the trip a little bit. But that's important to note when you're going up there. Make sure you have a few days. Don't just go up there for a quick turnaround unless you've been there before, because the fishing shuts on and it shuts off just as quick. So if you especially going your first time, give yourself a few days. Weather changes up there quite a bit. And I don't want you to planning this big trip of a lifetime and not spending enough time and getting shut out. So we're going to try and avoid that. I will be working on a video in the future for first timers to Pyramid, and I'll cover gear and where to stay and all kinds of options and how to fish that lake as best as I know how to. So that's coming down the pipe. As always, if you want any of the Golden State Fishing custom baits, the Waterland sunglasses, or the katana rods I use in this video, there's a QR code right up here. If you click on it, it'll take you to a link tree, which will have hyperlinks to all those sites. If you give out code CSpanker at checkout with Golden State Fishing, you get 10% off. And if you use the hyperlink contained in the link tree with Waterland sunglasses, you get 15% off your purchase. Quick note on the katana rods. I know a lot of you guys are anxious to get them. Latest update, they're looking at the beginning of April, so it's just a few weeks away, and those rods are going to come in. Also, there's more Sinister Strand on the way, so very, very soon on both those fronts. And from what I'm told, there should be plenty for everybody. If you want one, you should be able to get one. So just hang in there a little longer. They are coming. So with that, just remember to always like and subscribe, share the videos. If you ever have any questions, hit me up here on YouTube or go to my Instagram at CSpanker Outdoors. And until next time, we'll hope to see you out there and tight lines.